Hi guys.
Hi everyone, how you doing? People are popping in. What's up, Sabrina?
Hey guys.
Facebook friends, Instagram friends. Hello everyone. We are officially live. Thank you for joining us. We'll wait for a few others to pop in here. And as always, like, you know, as we go throughout this thing, like if you have any questions, please just like pop in. We'll read through it and whatever. Oh, hi Casey.
Hi Mom. Hi Emily.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Rachel Kewen. I am our Salmon Sales Manager.
My name's Casey.
And she's going to be joining me today for our first of hopefully many series, our wine tips and tricks. So these are all things that have been submitted by you guys, our viewers from Instagram, from Facebook, wine club members, just kind of some topics that you have questions about and we want to talk about. So after this segment, if you're thinking, you know, if there's something about wine you want to know, like just, you know, send it in, direct message. You can email me, Raechel@penswoodswinery.com, and we will definitely like connect, talk about it, learn, all that stuff together. So
all fun stuff.
Yeah. Today's topics include natural versus synthetic corks, different types of wine openers, and how to open wine in general, which I know kind of sounds silly, but we have some broken cork situations that we'll talk about here in a second. And also we're going to talk about aerating versus decanting, like when to do it, when's it appropriate, and all that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is natural versus synthetic corks. So I'm sure you've seen, you know, like you definitely have your natural cork. It's the traditional way. Been doing it for a very long time. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then we have our synthetic corks. And what's the difference between these and why do we use one versus the other?
Yes.
So they both have pros and cons. The pros of natural cork is, you know, it doesn't kill the tree. Cork trees are actually native to the Iberian Peninsula. That's like Portugal, that's Spain. And what they do is they harvest basically the bark of the tree. And it doesn't kill the tree, but it does take about 16 to 25 years for a tree to mature. And then once it's harvested and once it's stripped, it takes about 9 years for it to regenerate. So you can kind of see, keeping up with modern wine production, that's not exactly kind of, you know, not everyone can be using natural cork. We'll run out of it really quickly. So that's kind of a little bit of a con for natural cork. Natural cork can be recycled, but so can synthetic cork, so, you know.
The best of it, bro.
They both have that thing going on. And the best thing about natural cork is that it allows a wine to breathe. So if you're aging a wine, it allows very, very minimal amounts of oxygen in there, and it allows the wine to continue to develop over time in a way that synthetic cork and screw caps cannot do. So if you're building like fine premium wine that you want people to lay down for 10, 20 plus years, it's important to use natural cork so that wine can develop over the years. Otherwise, it's going to stay in like that stagnant place, and you don't want that. Although scientists are working on some synthetic corks that can breathe just like a natural cork.
Oh, fun. Some would also say that natural cork is eco-friendly.
Yeah,
Correct.
definitely eco-friendly because, like I said, you know, once you harvest it, it will grow back. So, you know, you don't have to worry about processing and chemicals and anything you might have to worry about, you know, synthetic anything.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
The downside of natural cork is that it does carry TCA, which is a fungus. So that can definitely be a deterrent for using that. TCA is what we call that flaw in wine. It's called cork taint. So if you get a wine and it smells like wet cardboard, unfortunately you got the cork taint. And there's other wine flaws, you know, if it smells mousy, that's usually a bacterial issue. If it smells like vinegar, that's usually a VA, a volatile acidity issue. But that white cardboard, or that wet cardboard smell, that's signature TCA, and that's a natural cork problem that synthetic corks don't have.
Does that affect drinking the wine at all?
They say, like, you know, a lot of wines have very, very minimal amounts of TCA that most people can't even detect.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you can't smell it, you should just drink it. A lot of people can pick it up right away and you're like, I ain't drinking that.
Got it.
But it's not going to hurt you.
Gotcha.
If, you know, you can't smell it and you end up drinking it.
Cool.
For synthetic corks, the Downsides are, you know, it doesn't breathe, it doesn't feel traditional, it feels kind of cheap, you know. But the thing about synthetic corks is that it's very practical. About 90% of wine production is made to be consumed immediately, so they're not meant to be aged. So there's really no reason to use natural cork if you're just gonna pop her open and drink her immediately anyway. And we use a mix of here at Penswoods.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Good variety.
Yeah, for our, you know, big reds, we have our Meritage right here, you know, our Cab Reserve, we're definitely using the natural cork. But for Sauvignon Blanc, she's not going anywhere, you know, you're not going to hang on to her in the cellar.
For
Like,
very long.
pop it out, synthetic cork, no worries. So, do we have any questions there? When can corks be recycled? Synthetic and natural cork can be recycled. Or does that say where? Where can synthetic corks be recycled? I assume like any
household?
of your local recycling facility, you know, it's your, you know, neighborhood recycling man. I guess I would just throw it in there, yeah. But that's a good question. I have to look into that. So we're going to move on from that. We're going to talk about types of wine openers. You have your obvious, you know, corkscrew situation. Hello, ladies. Hi, John. How are you doing? For me, like, you know, just the old-fashioned guy, this is my favorite thing in the world. You know, it's quick, it's easy. We've experimented with different types of corkscrews here. We even got an electric one. Now, if you have like arthritis or something like that, and you get those electric corkscrew removers, they're totally amazing for things like that. But if, you know, you're just trying to pop and go, like, this is definitely the way to go. We have an Asso wine opener. So this is kind of like a fancy guy here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a two-prong situation. What this is recommended for is for people who do collect and drink older vintages. It basically shimmies down, and I have like right here on each side of the cork, and you shimmy it down there and you twist and pull out, and it helps prevent some of that cork breakage that you'll get in some of the older vintages. But I'm telling you, like, generally the number one reason people break their corks is because they don't drill down far enough. So I always tell people, drill, baby, drill. Because actually I have a couple examples here of some corks. I don't know if you can see. This one started to break, but someone only drilled down like about halfway. And I have another one I kind of sliced open. You probably can't even see it like very well. But this one started to like crumble and fall apart. But again, it's only, no one drilled all the way down. So if you're opening an older bottle with a more delicate corkscrew, just make sure you literally get her in there all the way. Make sure you can't
see her.
Yeah, so you can't even see her, and you just kind of, I do like what I call like a gentle rock back and forth. Don't like rip her out. Like
a gentle jig.
Exactly. So go in there, gently rock her out, go side to side, and you'll be nice. And you know what, if you have any problems with it, you can bring your bottle here. They call me the you know, wine whisperer. I can coax any cork out of the bottle, and I'll definitely show you and help you out there.
Shimmy.
And then we also have, you know, some fancy high-tech gear. This is called a Coravin. So this is actually really great for studying wine. I use this in song school a lot. If you have really beautiful older bottles, but you don't really have anyone to drink with you, you want to have a glass, you want to have two, or you want to even see how your wines are aging over time. Now this works with natural corks only, and what it does is it actually was invented by a surgeon who was really into wine, and inserts this microscopic needle into the cork, and you're able to pour your wine from it, and then it gently slides out, and you're able to pour the wine from it. There's no oxygen, it's displaced with the gas. I don't know if I can unscrew this. There's a little gas cartridge in there. It's displaced, so no oxygen gets to the wine. You're able to see how your wines are aging over time, enjoy a glass or two, and then it can still be aging like up to many years more, actually. They actually invented one recently that works with synthetic and even screw cap models, and I'm not exactly sure how that works, but apparently you can still keep the bottle for up to a year. So if you're interested in that, that's a Coravin. She'll run you about $300-400 last I checked. But if you are into more fine wine drinking, you know, for me, I drink wine, I love to study wine, taste it, talk about it. But my husband doesn't really drink so much anyway. I mean, I could pour him like a glass of Budweiser and a glass of, 2013 Ameritage
Right,
here, and
without.
it would really be like, oh, it's good. So this is for, for you and maybe the person, like if you're at home with doesn't really super into wine. You're like, that's a special bottle for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Ty. So those are some types of wine openers. Again, there's all different kinds at home, but generally getting the same goal. I actually watched a video. God, the internet is such a fun and interesting place these days. I watched a video of a girl who opened a bottle of wine with a stiletto. So,
Okay. Whatever works. Right?
Mostly she just hammered it, punched it in, and it ripped. Yeah, there you go. So there's many types of wine openers. You can definitely get creative. But again, traditional corkscrew guy, that's kind of the way to go.
My answer.
Yeah.
My answer.
Moving on, we're going to talk about decanting versus aerating, what to do and when. So, first of all, what does decanting and aerating even do? Basically, with aerating, we are forcing air to circulate throughout the wine. So you'll want to do this with a lot of big, bold, full-bodied reds. And what it does is it opens up aromatically, brings out all those beautiful fruity notes, and it softens some of the tannins. So if you have a younger, more aggressive vintage, aerating is definitely the way to go. I have this good little guy here, and actually, it makes such a wonderful sound. I love. Here, take a sip of your wine. What are you drinking there? The Cab Sauv Reserve.
This is Chamberson.
The Chamberson. Oh wait, I have the Cab Reserve here. I should try this. Wait. There we go. I'm actually gonna pour that.
Yeah.
So try that first.
Okay.
And then we'll pour some through.
Oh.
You hear that? You can hear the air coming through it. And then you can try it afterwards and feel how much more it opens up. So much more fruit forward. So much more softness in the tannins.
Crazy.
And that's really for a younger wine, that's our 2016 vintage of Chamberson. That's how it's meant to enjoy. We always talk about what we call second day Chamberson. That Chamberson's been open for 2-3 days. And it's so much more beautiful and so much more enjoyable when you do get some oxygen circulation in there. So definitely if you have some younger reds, some younger vintages, aeration is the way to go.
Brightens it too.
Yeah.
On your palate.
Yeah.
More
it pops.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool to experience it. So
it is.
I would encourage you at home to kind of do what we just did. Take a sip of your wine before you aerate it, then aerate and take a sip and you're like, holy shit.
How much do these run?
These taste, oh Lord. I mean, you can buy we have little black aerators here at the tasting room that we sell for I don't know, $12. And then you can buy something, a little more fancy. This is a Venturi, $40 or some shit. Matt never knows what to get me for Christmas unless it's wine related. So he's like, oh, there you go. It's one of everything. Including a decanter. So what is decanting for? Decanting's for older vintages. So anything 10 years plus, you don't want to use an aerator. It doesn't need that aggressive aeration. An older wine is a little more delicate. So if you force that oxygen in there, you're going to lose a lot of those beautiful aromas and those flavors, and it's going to taste a little more flat and disappointing. So basically what you want to do is use your decanter, and it's more about removing sediment. So as a wine ages over time, a lot of those small particles fall out of solution. And if you just drink it, your wine can taste a little bit grainy. So what you'll do is, this is actually made for something that's a little more full body, like a Bordeaux style or a Cabernet. It has a nice wide base that increases the surface area to allow for oxygen, and then the nice lid here. And you'll leave it in here, and you can leave it for 15 minutes or up to 3 hours depending on the wine. Generally about 40 minutes is appropriate, but the sediment will collect here in the bottom, and then you can gently pour it out and enjoy your wine. And there's different types of decanters for different types of wine. If your goal is to remove the sediment, you'll want to use something with a more narrow base, a narrow neck. If your goal is introducing oxygen gently, something with a wider base and a wider neck will really work for you. But again, so younger, aggressive wines, we're going to go for aerating older wines, removing sediment. We're going to want to go for a decanter. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Yeah, so just a little bit about, if any of you jumped in halfway at the beginning, we talked about natural versus synthetic cork. We talked about different types of corkscrews and wine openers. Just a little bit about aerating, decanting here at the end. If you have any more questions, we can definitely go into depth on this a little bit more. Please just direct message, email me. We're definitely into talking about it. But if you have any questions for our next episode of Wine Tips and Tricks, please just submit that direct message via email. And we're here to, you can pick our brains. And we'll talk about whatever. But thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to pop on and snap out. But again, happy Wednesday. And we hope to see you all this weekend at the Vineyard.
See you guys.